You want to know what's heartbreaking? Watching your man's love for you turn into hate.
So previously, I recently posted a video of sex workers, strippers, dominatrix, giving advice on what they have discovered on the behavioral pattern of men or how they think. And now this video will be about women who discovered that their partners not like them. And this is more general, is more usual than we think. A lot of people, their partners, their husbands, their boyfriend, do not like them at all. They were either married because you are convenient for your man, you were either married because you had certain benefits you give to him that makes him value you, that makes it worth a while. If you haven't watched the previous video, go now, watch it, and or you could watch this one after watching it. You go then watch it to catch up. So I'll play the clips. I'll be back later with my commentary. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share if you like this kind of video. And if you don't want to miss out on my video, hit the um bell button.
You want to know what's heartbreaking? Watching your man's love for you turn into hate. It is literally one of the most heartbreaking things that you can experience. When suddenly it feels like even the way you breathe aggravates them. They stop handling you with care and consideration, and like even the smallest conversations feel forced. And you can't even remember the last time that he told you he loved you unprovoked. And don't let those memories pop up. And you see the videos of how he used to look at you and love on you, and you realize that y'all haven't been in that space in a very long time. You can literally feel him giving up on you. He's touching you less, kissing you even less. Sex feels like it's just something for him to get off rather than an intimate moment. Literally zero intimacy. It's especially hurtful when you've been nothing but a good woman and they just feel like you no longer serve a purpose in their life. Whew. And then when you finally start to realize what you wanted for a lifetime might have only been meant for a season. And that's crazy. And honestly, to me, that's the scariest part about relationships and opening up your heart to somebody. Because the person you love can literally wake up one day and feel completely different. And feel like you're not the person they want to do life with anymore. And that, my friends, is a very, very tough pill to swallow.
This is true stuff. Wow, you can see she's going through it. Like it hurts a lot when the person you've devoted yourself to, you find out, probably begging your enemy. But it hurts. But here's something that a lot of us women we don't know is that most men don't love you. Like when she said that they only have sex with you just to get off, not intimate. I'm like, what? A lot of men, that is their goal. That is their end goal. A lot of them have to like do some certain performance or ritual to now keep the kind of women they feel like based on your qualification, the standard you set, they give them access to you. And if they feel like they want to retain it afterwards, they do something. Sometimes it's not out of love. A lot of time men don't love. They don't. And the problem is we were sold lies about marriage and men. I mean, men were sold different lies, but women particularly were sold lies, a lot of lies, and we live in this Dululu land. And I feel like that's what keeps us and give a lot of men access to us because of that tugging with our emotional strings. And it's sad. You know what? How heartbreaking it is when you now realize that, damn, maybe I'm the fool. Maybe, right? And to women going through this phase, you're not a fool. You are sold a lie. Okay? There are some women that do some foolish things, right? Granted. But just because you are told a lie and you bought into it so much, you attach to it, and you find out that this is no longer working for you, you are first of all, intelligent and smart enough to recognize that, and your ego couldn't hold you back. And for you to go back and reflect to it, you are not a fool. You gave someone your time who was not deserving of it, who had a ulterior motive from the get go. And due to the fact that you were sold a lie, you believed in the best, which makes you sell yourself short. And maybe you being nice does not mean that you sell yourself short, but a lot of times to some men, especially weak men, that it is to them, and it's just a sport. So ladies, be careful out there. Especially to the men who you let into your space, time, because men will take your energy if you let them.
My relationship ended because he hated my body. I really wish that this was one of those satirical videos that I usually do, but it's not. This is probably the hardest video that I will ever make, hopefully. I've debated a lot about sharing this story, but after talking to so many people in my life about this, I am finally kind of ready to share. It was a very long conversation. He kind of told me that he didn't want to tell me the reason why he wanted to break up with me, and I eventually kind of pried it out of him. He said that his therapist also wanted him to tell me the reasoning. He's just like sitting on the couch and he like raises his voice and he goes, "There are just things about your body that I hate." Oh my god. Awesome. If you guys didn't know, I've been pretty open about it. I had an ED for many years. I got treatment for it. After that, I was in another relationship that was extremely stressful, and I gained a lot of weight while I was in that relationship because I was stress eating. So within the last like 6 or 7 years, I've experienced both spectrums of relationships with food. So knowing that, you can imagine how difficult it was for me to kind of process that this was the reasoning. Apparently everything else about me was perfect, but he was not attracted to me. I wish I could go back in time and just hug myself, because my first reaction to it, to hearing that he wasn't attracted to me, was I wanted to fix it. I was like, how is there just an issue with like attraction in general in your life? Like, what is going on? Which is kind of funny because I feel like I feel like that response was kind of like, I definitely know it's not me, but like, what's going on? What's going on with you? But he like very confidently was like, no, I've been attracted to other women while we've been together. I'm obviously laughing now, but it was terrible. It was really terrible in the moment. After we had this conversation, I went back home to San Diego. We were still kind of navigating what to do, but I feel like after I heard all of those words, especially the word hate, I just knew that things could never ever go back to normal. Hate is just such a strong word to use about someone else's body, and I know that because like that's the word for so long that I used about my own body. And after going to San Diego, I immediately found a therapist because I was starting to do things that I just hadn't done in so many years. It took us a couple days to break up for real. I think after a little while he realized that he had made a mistake apparently, and he told me that he would stay with me and learn to get over these thoughts that he was having about me. And it's like, how do you stay with someone who has to learn to find you attractive after you've done everything for them and poured yourself out? It's just ridiculous. I was not going to let myself put myself in that situation, because that's not okay. I know that people have types and stuff like that, but when I asked, I was like, is this something that just happened over time? He was like, no, I was never attracted to you. He was like, even on our first date, he wasn't attracted to me. And he was like, oh, so many people think you're so attractive, so I just thought it would grow over time. And I have a pretty face, so, you know, he thought something was going to happen. which is like genuinely, I think, like the cruelest thing that someone has ever said to me. He was like, oh, you used to be a model, like I just thought that like I could like get over it. And it's like just shocking to hear that someone needs to get over the way your body looks. I feel like I've even made videos about this type of man, and it's so scary that like a size 4 is something that's so unattractive. I literally shudder to think about what these types of people think about women who are bigger than I was. I just ultimately ended up ending things because I just couldn't do it. And honestly, in the beginning, it was so hard. My mom wanted to like make me feel better, and we went out to buy like some new clothes for me. I couldn't even like walk past the mirrors at the store, like just looking at myself, like I felt repulsive. I just so easily saw myself through his eyes because I used to think that way before I went through recovery. And then something just kind of clicked in my head one day. I was like, why would I ever let this man who is clearly mentally ill dictate how I feel about myself? I think ultimately what I didn't relate to is when I love somebody unconditionally. And so the thought of everything being so perfect about a person, but then to criticize their body, a body that has gotten me through recovery, that has gotten me through 2 attempts, that has gotten me through living through a childhood filled with DV. How dare you criticize me and the body that has gotten me through so much, that has done so much for so many people. It's so much in my nature to protect people, and even when we were breaking up, he literally pleaded with me and asked me not to make a mean video about him. And I said that I wouldn't, but the more and more time goes on, I do so much for so many people. What about me? What about my feelings? What about how I feel? This has altered the way I look at myself forever. At this point, I'm doing so much better with my body image, but that comment, it haunts me. A month after all of this happened, I got signed to a modeling agency. I've been focusing on myself so much more. I've been pouring all of the love I used to pour into other people into my own life, and I don't recognize that person that sat on that couch and tried to beg to be loved and appreciated and accepted. And it feels so good to just be alone. I think I'm more confident than I ever have been in my body, which is great. You know, I still have my days, we all do. But I think the way that this is affecting me now, I've always been the person to love. And I'm just wondering, is it even realistic to expect to be loved back in the same way that I love? Is love just this chemical feeling and a contractual obligation between 2 people to stay together? Because I just genuinely don't know how someone could feel my love and then treat me like I was nothing. It's hard. I know that I'm beautiful. I know that. I don't need some white guy to tell me that. I'm an influencer. I'm a model. My job is to be beautiful. I think my personality and I think my resilience has always been my best qualities. Having my partner look at my body and tell me that I was unattractive genuinely was my biggest fear. And it happened to me, and I lived. I'm alive. It didn't ruin me, well, completely, but I think my attitude towards life has changed so much. I used to be so scared to do so many things, and I'm like, dude, I've experienced the worst thing, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I've grown this community around talking about misogyny and talking about body positivity, and it just felt wrong to not talk about this. I know probably a lot of women have gone through something similar as well, so I just wanted to share in hopes that this is impactful for anybody else. Thank you guys for being there. I'll get through this one. I really am all right. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you later. Bye.
What? Size 4? Whoa. Do you know my size? I'm literally size 14. Right? And even some people say I'm not fat. Although I think I'm fat, I'm just very, very fit, okay? But for you to be size 4 and someone is shaming you for being fat, that's crazy. And then she said the guy is a white dude. It made a little sense because I know a lot of white women suffer from body dysmorphia, and most of them suffer from anorexia because they're starving themselves to fit the image, the beauty standard the men, acts of them. But damn, my dear, it broke my heart watching that. 'Cause it's so cruel, and I don't think men understand this, right? But it's so cruel for you to see a girl you didn't like her, but because she's beautiful, she'll look good on your arms. You wanted her because, and a lot of men go for the women that other men want, not because they know what they will do with you. They don't know what to use. Some men like beautiful ladies. They like good ladies. They want that, but once they have you, they don't know what to do with you. They just want you because they feel like they're entitled. They just want you because they feel like, oh, he's good as an arm candy. And even arm candy, men who likes arm candy, they know how to take care of arm candy well. But this certain men that just want you just for the sake of that, a lot of them are very callous in their approach. And they go on creating women with so much trauma. And these same twisted men are the same kind of men that will tell you they don't want women with trauma. Meanwhile, all their years of existing, they have been giving traumas to women, healing from them, because she has, as you can see, she's a beautiful soul. She has so much love to give. Obviously, narcissists, and predators will see such women and want to gravitate towards her because she's a light, she's a sweet soul. She sees the good in person. She loves unconditionally, right? And to this twisted set of men, they feel like this is their, because they live through these women, they heal through them, they get nurtured through them, they out of selfishness, they latch themselves to such women. That is evil. Especially for someone who would never want to hurt you or do you bad. Imagine skewing your whole narrative of you. Everything changed, and she's a model. Her image is everything. The least you could do to her was to be supportive, and for you to even blot it out so disrespectfully. I think he did that because he knew she was a good soul, a sweet soul. He thought maybe her confidence and self-esteem was too low that she would let him continue riding on her. And when he knew he messed up, he tried coming back. Like he couldn't even be so. He was so uncaught with his words that he didn't care enough that he will hurt the woman he has been intimate with for a while. The woman who he's supposed to care about. A lot of times when I hear about some relationship, I don't envy being single at all. I don't envy those in relationship. Relationship is a beautiful thing. Don't get me wrong. Once you do with someone who is intentional, right? And even for good women out there, you don't go out there giving out your love to men that have not earned it. Men have to earn it, because men will abuse what they didn't earn, what they don't deserve. A lot of them know they ain't shit anyways. The so-called good men, they know this too. So stop letting this weak men, especially this narcissist, to be sucking off your energy. Because a lot of you might not have the luxury to even afford such mental turmoil.
When did you realize he hated you? When he told me I probably liked it when I was being essayed. What? After we had sex for the first time, and my first time ever, he got his Bible out and started showing me scriptures about how I was a Jezebel.
He's a sociopath.
He poured ice cold water over my head for squeezing his hand too tight while in hospital as I was having contractions, having his child. My nurse couldn't believe it. We threw him out.
There are men in there. Men, like...
When he grabbed me and threw me into the counter 8 months pregnant. because I wanted to talk about our relationship, and he told me to shut up and go in my room.
Yeah.
I didn't listen.
Oh, he's a child. Go in your room? Where's your daddy?
He got mad at me every time I had a seizure. We
So-
definitely cannot make this shit up.
So she's supposed to go home when she gets in her seizure, or she's supposed to go...
She's supposed to tell the seizure, no, don't come here.
Yeah.
Nah, men an audacity.
Come on here. Excuse me?
Wrong time.
When I broke up with my ex, I had a conversation with him and he said to me that you always say you're going to start something and you never do it. And when I tell you, thank you for that, because that changed my life. I have vowed to never be again somebody that says they're going to do something and not do it. And that's why these days I am on job. These men are watching. You think, oh yeah, love of my life, let me just be a bum, let me never go to work, let me never do my hair, let me never look nice, let me always be comfortable, let me sit in my wig braids. That is what is slowly killing your relationship. Oh, my boyfriend is my life, I don't have any friends, you are my everything. They're watching you. They're watching you, and the day you break up, you're gonna hear some things you never thought you'd hear. They are watching you. I'm so sorry, I'm not sitting here saying don't trust your partner. What I am saying is the very things that you think are, oh, so cute, so endearing, oh, he's my man, oh, they're watching you. They're watching you, and a lot of you are so confused why people start to use things against you when you break up, but you didn't know that they just were thinking, it's not important right now. It's not important right now. But when you break up, it's going to be so bloody important. These men are watching you. Get up. Don't let men kill your development. Keep going, keep getting better, keep striving for more, keep trying to build a life for yourself. Even if that man makes you a stay-at-home mum, bro, in that time, find something to do to develop yourself, because I'm so sorry, men cannot be trusted.
It's such an eye-opening experience when you date the person that hates you. And it's so wild because you don't notice it, because it does not start off like that. They love you in the beginning. They think you're so amazing. They kiss the ground that you walk on. You are literally perfect to them. And then it gets to this point where they feel like you're better than them. And they may even vocalize it and say, you're too good for me. Bitch, that should be your sign to fucking run. If somebody ever tells you you're too good for me, run. Run like hell. And then it'll just start with little comments here and there, and then inconsideration, and then it'll just start full-blown fucking arguments just because they hate you. They will stop being considerate of your feelings. They will start making snide remarks about you, whether it's about your weight or your just insecurities that they know that you have in general. Poking fun and giggling, making you feel crazy in your head, just gaslighting you in the most diabolical fucking ways. Like, you could be the star of the show when you walk in the room and they're like, people don't really like you as much as they think. Excuse me? And it's a canon event. I fear you're going to be at least one person that you're going to really like, and you're going to realize that they really hate your fucking guts. They're jealous of you. Your boyfriend is jealous of you.
Stop normalizing your husband hating you. Stop it. I see a handful of videos every single day of women on this app and the other being silly, being goofy, being themselves, and their husbands having just fucking disdain for them. And it's visible. I can see it, you can see it, she can see it, and it's just this like, ha ha ha, my husband finds me so annoying. No. If my husband is not obsessed with me, 99% of the time, I won't have him. Your spouse should not openly dislike your personality. They should not openly be annoyed by you. Like, yes, am I annoyed by my husband sometimes? Sure. But 99% of the time, I look at that man like he is the most prized possession in the world. And I 1,000% expect him to look at me the same way. If you ever catch my husband on camera looking at me the way some of these husbands look at their wives, divorce. Divorce immediately. Stop normalizing your husband openly hating you.
So ladies, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Whenever you're in a relationship or talking to a guy and he looks at you like he genuinely hates you, believe that he does. Because I'm going to tell you 110% that a guy that seems uninterested when he's around you, or, you know, he gives you these mean faces, or it just seems like he is off, that means that he is not attracted to you at all. See, the only reason why a guy would be looking at you like this is because he knows that you are the only readily available option to him. And since a guy would rather be with someone than no one, he decided to settle down with you, even though he's not that attracted to you. See, y'all be thinking that guys just be uninterested, or, you know, they just be having this face that makes them seem like they're mean or they don't want to be around you, when in actuality, if it was a girl that they actually wanted, they would never act like this at all. And the worst part is, this is also the phase known as when you slowly start hating your girlfriend. He didn't plan on being in a long-term relationship with you or in a relationship with you at all. That's why he always will have an attitude. And you see, the sad reality is, majority of the time, whenever he acts like he hates you, or, you know, he's mean to you out of nowhere, this also means that he either plans on cheating on you or he has cheated on you. But y'all stay safe out here, man.
So y'all saw the Twitter thread, right? You saw it. The one where men were talking about how much they hate their girlfriends. Do you see now why we say when that man switches up his behavior and it seems like, ooh, it feel like you don't like me no more. He stopped doing things he used to do and he started doing something new. And when you ask him about it, he says, why are you tripping? Can I have a day? Blah, 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 blah. Excuses, baby. All that talking, ignore it. Look at what that man is doing. You can feel the energy. You can feel when something has changed. Listen to your woman's intuition, baby, because she's not going to steer you wrong. You can feel when things are not right, and you are going to have to be the one to feel it because they're showing us again that they're not going to do it. Think of how common it is in, like, it's not as common anymore, but in like older sitcoms where the men would be married and they call their wives the old ball and chain, and all they do is talk about how much they can't stand her, and there's the wedding ring, the engagement ring, and then the suffering. Those jokes that last generations are in existence because they are rooted in truth. Men will stay in relationships where they are not happy just for the sake of not being on their own, and so that they don't ever have to be the one to speak up and talk about how they feel and take responsibility for their feelings. So they will drag you and drag you and drag you along with them until you decide that you can't take anymore and you leave. That's what he's waiting on, okay? It's no point in us saying, why don't you just tell me how you feel? Why is it up to us? It doesn't matter. The point is, he's not gonna tell you how he feels, and it is up to you, okay? Get over the shock of all of that and how unfair it is, and just switch your brain. Don't look at my nail. Switch your brain so that you know when something feels off, it's off. You don't have to ask him for validation. Hey, I know, are you sure? Because I know you said that you really love me, but you just keep acting like you hate me. It's because he hates you, okay? Okay. There's a video going around of a woman saying that one of the ways to tell that your boyfriend or husband hates you is to see how he acts on your birthday. And I saw a creator that just said that she saw that and it triggered her, and I've been triggered. And this is why. I was with this guy for 4 years, and he would always have just really big emotions and not, I guess, know how to handle his really big emotions, like anger. That's an emotion. Also an inability to name his emotions. Instead of naming emotions, for example, he would say, I'm mad and it's your fault. So I internalized that a lot as it continued to build up over 4 years. Like, it did not happen overnight. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, my relationship is great, like, I hope it is. And I bet it, I bet it is great. And also, like, still pay attention to some signs. I wish that I had. I wish that I had. So the story, for it to get into it, it was coming around to my birthday. He was like, what do you want for your birthday? I was like, I just really want to be around trees for my birthday. And I really want this bike, this really specific bike. And if you want to help me pay for this bike,
that would be really cool. Like, you don't have to, but like, that would be really cool. I just want to spend time with you and be around trees. And in no uncertain words, he was like, that's a stupid idea. He was like, how about instead we go to a winery in Napa? And so now it requires some context, because he previously, like months previously, he asked me if I wanted to go to Napa with him the following day for wine tasting. I was like, yeah, that sounds like a really cute plan. Amazing. And then it became a really intense fight on the way there. And then he was trying to tell me something that I did that was, I guess, my fault. And then him saying, I wanted to remember my uncle that had passed away. I wanted to remember him by going to Napa. And he was like, if I'm ever going to Napa and you're coming with me, it's never about you or us. It's always going to be about him. So, like, okay, I get it. And I can make space for that. That's fine. Like, it was like, okay, good to know. I would have loved to understand what it meant to you before you invited me to go to Napa with you for wine tasting, thinking it was just going to be a cute thing for us. But, like, it's okay. Like, amazing. Like, noted, in the future, it will be about your uncle. So the time comes around and he says to me around my birthday, he's like, how about we go to Napa for your birthday? And I was like, well, is that for you or is that for me? And he was like offended. He was like, of course it's for you. So I was like, and he was like, a vineyard is trees. So like, it's still trees. And I was like, okay, like, for the sake of not arguing and just like giving the man what he wants.
One more thing I want to add before I close this video. One thing I noticed that was consistent, especially this speaker even emphasized on it, is women internalizing whatever the men are projecting on them. We need to normalize in this 2025 to let people have their shame, their disgrace, and their bad behavior. Let people carry the burden of their bad behavior by themselves. A lot of men, instead of letting you go, they'll keep you around and then start projecting and gaslighting you by letting you feel like it's your fault. That is why they're doing something to you. No, a lot of times men do things because they are shitty. And they're doing it because they know they could get away with it, especially when they test you and find out that they could get away with it. Just remember that if you play with a dog, you end up with a flea. Okay, if you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. A lot of these men are stupid prizes, right? If you have to chase him, men are not that, they're not that sly. Like, they are very transparent. If he treats you like shit, best believe that is what he feels for you. Don't try to make it or feel like you change him. Girl, you won't change him. And it speaks a lot about you. Even if you change him, it speaks a lot about you and your self-esteem. Your willingness to be eager to tolerate something. BS. Just to be called your chosen. Like, what happens tomorrow if he decides that he doesn't like you anymore? Have you ever thought about that? Have you noticed most of these women that like celebrate stealing another woman's bag, which I feel like is stupid? You cannot steal any grown-ass man, right? Well, let's say for the sake of this word, have you noticed that some women that do that, the same thing he did to his wife, he will also do to you, sometimes even worse. He'll do times two, because at the back of his mind, and this is one thing about men, they're never accountable. He will blame you for his own mishap. You contributed, yes, but then again, the blame is on you. Imagine the first lady, the man was blaming her of being a Jezebel for what you did to her. Nah. So ladies, like I said, remember not to take or partake in any man's blame. If he did something, let him take his blame. Be responsible for your actions. Of course, you have to be responsible. You let it happen. That is as much responsibility you should take. But this shitty behavior, he did it because he was that person. Okay, so I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts below. Share, like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. See you in my next video. Bye.